tried to make my previous, what should we call it, artwork or vertical idea into a three-dimensional experience. And we discussed before how, you know, some kind of installation which you can walk around and experience from more angles than one. And I thought up a couple of shapes, but I thought I'd stick to the basics for this pattern in the back. And because this front layer, which is the black squiggles, is already a sort of irregular enough element within the whole idea. It creates this sort of distortion which gives you this vertical feeling of movement, kinetic art, maybe we can call it. It's supposed to sort of create this feeling that you have to name it, sort of. You have to figure out what is actually there. It's not the front layer, it's not the back layer, but what's in between that happens with these two is sort of this thing that we talked about with the RFID, the wrangler. You're this wrangler of this idea that that there's something there that, you know, it's not sort of you can't hold it. It's not physical. It's just something that is distorted in your vision, which create this third layer in between. You know, it's. I wanted to make something that you could experience from the inside at first, but I tried to just keep it as an element, just that you can walk around and have this experience from all the different angles, as it's all about the experience and not really the thing itself. In that case, it's a vertigo item, I could say, instead of a vertigo experience, maybe.
And is there still a difference between, like it was in the original model?
Well,
it's kind of
because the scale is a bit more down. I tried to scale it with a different material, but maybe this has a bit more effect, but couldn't get it right in the model. But I think when you look at the photographs or the renders, it's already getting this distortion, and I think because of the scale context that this thing is almost human size, that you would get a dramatic effect, which you can see in this in the 2D example.
Yep, some questions.
What's the real difference between your first model, that one, and this 3D?
Well, it's not, the basics is the same, of course, and the only difference between that and this is that, you know, the interpretation of a three-dimensional object instead of a two-dimensional experience. That's the only difference, and that's only the one thing that I wanted to do. The extra thing that I didn't put into it, which I rather would have, is that you can actually go into this item and have this experience, but yeah, didn't seem able to do that, but I think this is good enough, as close as I wanted to get it.
But you wanted to be able to enter the object and be surrounded by all the vertigo around you?
Yeah, perhaps, but like if I would have made a room with, you know, wallpaper or stuff like that, then it would be almost a little, you know, just placing four of these items opposite each other, and then, so it's not the same. So it gets the same effect, it's a different thing, and it's a three-dimensional experience, so it's a different angle that you can look at it for everybody, it's a different experience on itself again.
What do you think?
I was imagine if this is inside out, like,
Yeah.
because can imagine that is very strong illusion or vertical.
Well,
But this one it's a bit
you could do the
less
sphere
than-
inside out, but the objects around it is hard to get. You know, gravity is gonna make a whole lot.
I mean, if there's one inside out and this is in that inside out,
Yeah.
and then you can see it both
Both sides,
inside
right.
and outside, then perhaps it's a very vertical
Yeah.
experience.
I think epileptic people would not like that.
I think it does work because if you look at the flat one, you're constantly moving in front of it to get another angle and
Yeah.
see it moving.
Yeah, this is the thing. I don't want the vertical idea to be an overwhelming part. I also want you to keep looking at it and not be that nauseous. It's just an idea of, okay, what's going on? And then you start looking at it really, so what's really happening here? And then you keep looking at it because you can never find out how this, what's this distortion? Only if you're really up close and seeing, okay, but then you still go back and look at it again because you're still curious. And this curious part that you keep looking is, it makes you this word wrangler. It makes you this wrangler of this object which you want to put your finger on, but you can't. At least for me, that's the experience.
Can you turn it?
Well, it's not an accurate model against these renders, but it gives the same impression, I would say.